I told myself I was going to be rich, or I was rich, until it became true. And there was an uncanny resemblance of the life that I was speaking into existence versus the life that I live today. So I'm going to cover pretty much everything. Now, here's a Google Doc that I wrote on January 2nd, 2024. And my mental slide, which was for my evolved avatar, was Malibu, Europe, which was travel to Budapest, London, Paris, Munich, and Zurich. Then I was get a cool watch, drive a supercar, have a good network, 100,000 followers on Instagram, and 10,000 on YouTube, hit 50,000 a month, and 100K a month. Now, here's the life that I live today, okay? I have 205,000 followers on Instagram. Here's me in Paris. Here's me driving a supercar in Zurich, Switzerland. Here's me in London in a Rolls-Royce black badge. Here's me in Budapest, Hungary. That is insane. That is crazy. The fact that I wrote this over a year ago and every single detail to an exact T has been met. There is an uncanny resemblance, and I'm going to cover literally every single aspect on why this worked, okay? So most people operate in the wrong sense. Most people operate through the way they want to be seen. Now, the problem with this, right? Here's let me do this, okay? So here's you. And then here, this blue outline, this blue little shadowy figure, this is your evolved self, okay? Evolved self, okay? Bear with my handwriting, I'm sorry. But this is you in the black, and in the blue, this is your evolved self. Now, the thing is that most people don't actually operate as their evolved self. They move and they go in public and they make content, or they talk to their friends or people, they socialize in the way that they want to be seen. Now, in face value, top of iceberg, that sounds fine. But the thing is that when you break it down to its first principles, you talk to people in the way you want to be seen. That doesn't mean the way you want. It's the key word is want. You want to be seen that way, but you are not that way. You want to be seen as, let's say your evolved avatar is a seasoned entrepreneur who makes $100,000 a month and drives a supercar. If you don't make $100,000 a month and you don't drive a supercar, you want to be seen that way. You are actually not that person. So it comes down to who you truly are. So most people socialize and move about their lives in the way that they want to be seen and don't actually adopt their evolved self. So your mind has two different planes, okay? So you have the physical and you have the metaphysical. Now, I'm going to be talking about visualization and some woo-woo stuff, so if you don't like that, then you can click off the video. But this is exactly what I used to get rich. So your mind has two different realms. It's the physical and the metaphysical. And right here in this middle ground, it's kind of like I'm not sure what some diagram. But this little middle ground right here is where you're going to get rich. So in visualization, the thing is that you need to understand, I'm actually going to go to this part first, okay? So when you want to visualize something, you need to speak it, you need to visualize it, and you need to materialize it. So, and a lot of people think that being spiritual or talking about visualization or manifestation, people think that it takes away from God or that it's a sin. That's not the case, okay? Because there's still the materialization step. So first off, you need to speak it. I have created an entire Google slide, an entire Google Doc. Now, this was just one page. It was a lot longer, and I remade it about 2 weeks ago. So now I have an evolved sense of self to actually operate on and reach to, but you need to speak it in some way or another. You need to go tell people. You need to not only tell people, but tell yourself. You need to adopt this identity and this version of yourself that is capable of doing the things you want to do, if that makes sense. So the next step is visualization. Now, a lot of people get visualization wrong. So when you visualize, you don't want to strictly visualize the physical realm. Now, it's fantastic if you're going to go out and you want to imagine yourself wearing a nice watch. You know, I could sit here and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put this cool watch on at the Rolex store. It can only do so much for your subconscious, okay? So when you're visualizing, you need to focus on the metaphysical realm because your mind, it's your subconscious, it is your mind. We are literally just consciousness in physical manifestations of flesh. That is all we are. I want you guys to understand that. So when it comes to your mind, you need to be visualizing the feeling of having XYZ or being this kind of person. So you need to create the evolved identity, right? So let's say this is you. For example, we're going to use $100,000 a month and driving a supercar. So you need to you can't visualize the supercar. You can't think about, oh, I'm going to be, I need to feel the leather of the Lamborghini Urus seats or whatever you want to think about. You cannot be thinking strictly physical. You need to think metaphysical. And the reason this works, and this is the reason it's the right way to visualize, is because your brain does not resonate and your subconscious mind does not resonate with the physical. It resonates with the metaphysical. So the metaphysical would be the feeling of it, the feeling of you buying that car, the feeling of you tapping that Amex, because your brain only resonates with feelings. And once feelings become more familiar, then they are actually able to materialize. Does that make sense? So when it comes to visualization, you need to speak, visualize, and materialize. And this is what most people get wrong about manifesting. I attribute a lot of my life to manifestation, and it never comes true until a year or so later. And that's crazy. I even talked about this in the first video on my channel. I literally threw up a screenshot, and it was from a year or two ago, and I literally said, I want to be on a yacht in Croatia. That was one of the things. And what did I do 2 months ago? I had a client event with guys from my program, and we were on a yacht in Croatia. And it was the craziest thing. So the biggest mistake is a lot of people want to give up all the work to materialize or to visualizing. They don't actually understand when you materialize it, you have to put in the work, right? The same, and you could be spiritual. I guess you could call this spirituality. You could be spiritual, but you can also be religious. There is no middle ground. Like, there is a middle ground. It's not black and white. It's not red or blue. It's not, you see what I'm saying? So when I say you need to materialize it, a lot of people think that, oh, I can't, visualization or manifestation is a sin. It's not. And you need to materialize it. And materializing is the part of God. Does that make sense? Because if you're giving up, all the benefits or all the work to the universe, you're not going to get anything back. God has put this video on your YouTube recommended. He is somehow giving you this video. And if you retain this information, he's giving you a Wi-Fi connection, a laptop, or a phone. That means you can make money. Same way that you were born. First off, that's 1 in a trillion. Second off, you were born in hopefully a first world country with enough money to pay for a gym membership that is close in vicinity to your house. So God has given you, he's blessed you already with the path. You have to go and walk it. Does that make sense? So that comes into the materialization step. You have to go and do the work. Does that make sense? He's not going to go in the gym for you and lift the dumbbells and eat the right food. He's not going to go in there and, do 8 sets of 12 reps or whatever. You see what I'm saying? He's giving you the path. He's giving you enough money to pay for a gym membership. He's given you your house and he's made you born in a first world country or even a second world country. You have no excuse. You see what I'm saying? So the materialization aspect is what most people get wrong because they give so much up of the actual work to the manifestation. They think the visualization and the manifestation is a part of it. And the reason why most people get wrong about materialization or the actual work is because this comes down to one, let me write this down, okay? This comes down to one simple thing, and it's proof of identity, okay? So I'm going to talk about what this means. So what is proof of identity? Now, the reason most people fuck up on the materialization step is because they don't actually put in the work, right? If you want to be this evolved version of yourself, right? If you want to make $100,000 a month and drive a Lamborghini or a supercar, whatever your dream car may be, you have to have a stack of proof on your desk in front of you that you are that person. So I need to wake up at 5 a.m. I need to go do what I need to do. I need to pray every single morning because I know this $250,000 a month version of me is a hardworking, disciplined man of God. Does that make sense? So I'm doing everything that this evolved version of myself is doing, and in due process, that will materialize into my reality. Understand? So a lot of people have a dream life. They want to choose something and they want to live, I'm not going to be unhumble here, but this is a pretty cool life. And the fact that I can live this at my age, I'm a high school dropout. This is pretty crazy. So I've literally visualized and materialized this down to a T, but I've also put in the work to get here. And I've done the steps to become this kind of person, right? A lot of people want to manifest 205,000 Instagram followers, but they don't want to go and post a video every single day without missing for a year and a half straight. They really don't. Does that make sense? But in due process of me posting a video every single day, that is what the identity of somebody who has 200,000 Instagram followers does. Does that make sense? So you need to constantly, day by day, hour by hour, week by week, month by month, year by year, prove that you are who you say you are. You need to reassure yourself and have a stack of proof that your sense of self and your identity matches up with your goals. Does that make sense? So not only do you need to speak it, and I've told every single person everything that I was going to do before I did it. Every single person in my life, I said I was going to do it and I did it. Not only do you need to visualize the feeling and the identity and because like we talked about, your brain does not resonate with physical, it resonates with metaphysical. Your brain will only resonate with the feeling, and once the feelings become more familiar, then they will be materialized. So you need to speak, visualize, and materialize, okay? So I have 2 quotes here that I want to cover. I'm not going to make this video insanely long, but I do want to make it very valuable. So this is a Carl Jung quote. I believe both of these are Carl Jung quotes. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Your life that you live is cut down to 3 things: the belief systems that you have, the work you've put in, and your vision of yourself, how you believe who you are. Does that make sense? What you believe who you are right now, you're watching it. Maybe you're poor. Maybe you're not as rich as you would like to be. Maybe you're already making a bunch of money, but you don't have a Bugatti yet. You are there because that's who you believe you genuinely are. And the moment you believe not only do you deserve more, but you are the person who has more is when you're going to get it. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Most people, now let me put this into perspective. Most people, here's the ocean. So here's the ocean. Just imagine this is an ocean, right? Most people are just sitting on a boat, okay? Most people are sitting on a boat, and this is you. You're like, what? You're scratching your head. You're like, huh? What's going on? Now, the problem is that there's no wind and you don't have a sail. So you guys are just waiting for life to be handed to you opposed to going out and grabbing it. The moment you put a sail on this boat and have some wind coming, so the wind would be the work. Let's just do this as wind. Sorry for my, I didn't go to arts class, didn't do none of that. So bear with my drawings here. But you're in the ocean. The moment you put in wind, which the wind, we can just call it work, which would also have to be into, visualizing, materializing, manifesting, etc. The moment you put in the work and you have this sail in place, which is the identity, and this work is in accordance with the identity, that is when you can control your sailboat, and that is when you can actually go and get what you want. So the next quote I have here is, man is all imagination. The world is but his arranged dream, pushed from the depths of his subconscious. To live the life of your dreams, you must first dare to imagine it as real, to occupy the state within until it hardens into a fact. Your outer world is forever molded by your inner one. You can screenshot this, you can write it down, but I have this quote on my lock screen, and I've had it on my lock screen for about a year. It has made me so much money. So riches aren't just money. They are the archetype of abundance. Does that make sense? When you embody the archetype of wealth, your unconscious starts orientating your behavior in your decisions and your opportunities towards it. You don't just think, I want money. You have to become the archetype of somebody who commands it. Okay, that kind of, I law of attraction, blah, blah, blah. But until you make the unconscious conscious, like we talked about here, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Most people unconsciously believe they are broke, undeserving, and trapped in scarcity. And by telling yourself, I am rich, you are reprogramming the unconscious mirror, flipping your inner identity from lack to abundance. Wealth is not earned, it's mirrored from the subconscious image that you hold of yourself. Wealth is not earned, it's imaged from the subconscious mirror. It's mirrored from the subconscious image that you hold of yourself. So your current life and everything in your day-to-day is chopped down to this current sense of self. You deserve better. You understand that, right? Here, let me put this into perspective, because all it really takes is perspective shifts in life to understand what life really is. I really push free will. Nothing is ever chopped out for you. Nothing is ever, I can go outside right now and I can go, put a clown suit on and do backflips and hit a bunch of Fortnite dances. I can go do that if I please. That's free will. God or the universe has not chopped my life up or my path out to go put a clown suit on, do backflips and Fortnite dances. I would go and choose to do that. You see what I'm saying? So the moment you understand that, let's just say your current reality. So your current, oh my days, current reality. So here's your current reality, and here is your desired reality. Desired reality. So your current reality, once you understand your current reality and your desired reality, the moment you understand that the only thing that is separating you from going from here to here is a set of actions is crazy. I want you guys to understand the only thing that like it's like I wanted to have a bunch of Instagram followers. So the only thing that was separating me from doing that was consistently compounding and putting out content every day. It was a set timeline of action. That's all it was. That's all it was. Me from being broke and having no money to making almost $80,000 a month right now, that was a set of actions that I had to do and that compounded over each other. Does that make sense? It is that simple. The dream life that you want is literally a simple, it's not step by step, it's pretty step by step. Obviously, you can't sit there and plan everything out. But you right now, you just have to go and do actions in a specific time frame, and you will get to your desired reality. I'm not going to make this video crazy long. I'm going to keep it fairly short. I feel like it was pretty action packed. So if you want to rewatch this video on 1.5x and take notes, or just ChatGPT something and like maybe put this video into ChatGPT and plug it in and, you know, take the key takeaways, feel free. Thank you for watching. I hope I was able to provide value here because I'm super passionate about this kinds of stuff, as you could tell. And it's crazy that I was able to literally materialize everything and speak it before I did it. If you want to work with me one-on-one, we guarantee you hit 10K a month or your money back. No bullshit, no questions asked. And thank you so much for watching. Drop a subscribe if you liked the video. Follow my Instagram, little shameless plug. Thank you for watching. Take care and have an absolutely blessed day.